Hello dear learners, I'm glad to see you again. My name is Anton and today we continue talking about science. In this lesson you will learn how to write essays about scientists, analyze the structure of essays and revise some helpful phrases. So let's start the lesson. As you can remember from our previous lessons, there were a lot of Ukrainian inventors who changed the world of technologies. Do you remember any of them? What about Igor Sikorsky or Lyubomir Romankiev? There are many people and many stories we need to tell the world, so today we will try to do it by ourselves. Let's read the example of a story about a modern Ukrainian inventor, Lyubomir Romankiev, and then try to make our own. Pause the video and read the text on the screen. I'd like to begin with a small fact about this extraordinary scientist. His name has its place in the National Inventors Hall of Fame in the USA. The name of this inventor is Lyubomir Romankiev. In the past several decades, Lyubomir played an important role in the field of electronics, making a breakthrough invention that changed the lives of billions of people. Despite making such a big discovery, his life was not always as good as you can think. He was born in the city of Zhovkva, Lviv Oblast, in 1931. Those times, the whole Lviv Oblast was a part of Poland. It was not safe to be there in 1939 till 1945, so during the Second World War, he moved to Canada with his family. Here he got his higher education in 2 Canadian universities and became an inventor. His love for science led him to work in IBM Corporation. That is where the story of his biggest invention starts. Researchers on electronics have a long tradition, but the most important factor in this invention was their concurrency. In the 1980s, 9 big companies in the USA were trying to find the solution to store a big amount of information. Everyone had a wish to make better and powerful computers. The aim of Lyubomir Romankiev was to find the best solution to store the information using electric chemistry. And he did it! His biggest and the most impressive invention, the magnetic storage head. It made the existence of personal computers possible. That invention was the start of the success of IBM Corporation and Apple Company. Steve Jobs bought this technology and made their first personal computer in his garage. Summarizing all said before, the great Ukrainian inventor Lyubomir Romankiev was the one to change the world of technologies. Our lives couldn't be the same after his invention. That's why now you can watch this video using your computer. Good job, guys! Thanks for reading. Now it's time to check how well you understood the story. Pause the video, read the sentences and write true or false. Let's listen to the answers. 1. Lyubomir is stated in the National Inventors Hall of Fame of the USA. True. 2. The inventor made a big invention in the field of chemistry. False. 3. He was born in Lviv Oblast in independent Ukraine. False. 4. Steve Jobs bought this technology to make a personal computer. 2. 5. Lyubomir worked for UMC Corporation. False. Amazing job! Let's move on and learn the structure of essays. There are 4 stages in our structure. Introduction, presenting the scientist, presenting the scientist's main work, conclusion. Can you apply this structure to the presentation you've just heard? In the introduction part, we should tell a few words about a person we write about and why we decided to choose him or her. It always is a good idea to start your essay with an interesting or intriguing fact about this person and ask a question at the end. But it's not obligatory. While writing an introduction, you should use these phrases. To begin with. I'd like to begin with. One of the main scientists to be investigated in the field of is. One of the most fascinating things about the scientist is. The next part of the essay is the main body. In our writing task, it consists of two parts, the presentation of a scientist and the presentation of his or her main work. In the presentation of a scientist, you need to briefly tell about the biography of the scientist you write about. These phrases might help you to write it. In the past several decades, played an important role in. His life as a scientist started with. At a young age. As a child. Towards the end of his life. While in the presentation of the scientist's main work, you need to tell about his or her main inventions and which one impresses you the most. Helpful phrases for this stage are: his aim was to. Research on has a long tradition. The contribution of his works can be described as follows. One of the major achievements of this work was. What impresses me the most is. And finally, in the conclusion part, you need to sum up what you said before and explain why his work is important for you. There are special phrases which will help you to write your essays. In summary, to conclude, in short, finally, summarizing all said above. The world could not be the same after this invention. To express my respect to this person, I'd like to say, he will be remembered to most for. Now it's time for the test. Pause the video and match the phrases with this stage when we use them. Let's check. 1. Introduction. Age. To begin with. I'd like to begin with. D. One of the interesting things about the scientist is. 2. Presentation of a scientist. B. At a young age. E. His life as a scientist started with. 3. Presentation of the scientist's main work. C. His aim was to. F. One of the major achievements of his work was. 4. Conclusion. G. In summary. A. He will be remembered to most for. Thanks for being productive. You did an excellent job. This is the end of our lesson. Today, you learned how to write essays about scientists, analyze the structure of essays, and revise some helpful phrases. Don't forget to check your additional materials. Think of Ukrainian scientists. Make a list of those you like and search for their inventions. Ukraine has a huge number of scientists, so you can surely find someone interesting for you. Thanks for being productive. Goodbye.